The year is 1470. In the mountains of Thessaly, a bell rings one final time across a valley that will never hear it again. Inside the Convent of St. Catherine, 23 women kneel in prayer. Their lips move in unison, forming words they've spoken every morning for years. But today, the words taste different, like ash, like goodbye. Outside the stone walls, the horizon bleeds red, not from sunrise, but from the banners of an empire that has already swallowed kingdoms whole. The Ottoman army does not march. It flows like a river of steel and fire, erasing everything in its path. Sister Ilani, the abbess, clutches a silver crucifix that has survived 3 generations. Her hands tremble, but not from fear. She knows what's coming. They all do. But what no one could imagine is that death would have been mercy, because what happened next wasn't written in any history book. It was buried, erased, hidden beneath centuries of silence. What the Ottomans did to these women wasn't just conquest. It was something far more calculated, something historians are only now beginning to uncover. The question isn't whether you can handle the truth, it's whether you're willing to remember it. Here on Echoes of the Past, we dig into the archives the world forgot. These women were erased from history once. Don't let it happen again. Subscribe to help us ensure their stories and thousands like them are never forgotten. But now, let's go back to that convent. The bell has stopped ringing, and the doors are about to break. 17 years earlier, in 1453, Constantinople had fallen, the jewel of Christendom, a city that had stood over 1,000 years, gone in 53 days of cannon fire and blood. The Hagia Sophia, once the greatest cathedral in the world, was stripped of its crosses within hours, its mosaics plastered over, its bells melted down. Within a week, the call to prayer echoed from its domes where hymns had sung for 9 centuries. Sultan Mehmed II understood something most conquerors do not. You don't defeat a people by killing them. You defeat them by erasing who they were. The Ottomans did not just conquer land, they conquered identity. Every church bell still ringing, every monastery still standing, every cross casting shadows on conquered soil, these were declarations, acts of defiance. Every nun who still prayed in Latin was a living reminder that faith could outlast armies. So the Sultan made a decision. If they would not convert, they would disappear. Not through massacre. Massacre creates martyrs. Martyrs inspire resistance. But through something far more elegant. Something that left no songs, no stories, no memory. Erasure. By 1470, this strategy had been tested across the empire. Greek monasteries, Serbian convents, Armenian churches. Some were converted, others abandoned, but the pattern was always the same. First the offer, then the silence. The Convent of St. Catherine, perched on a hillside in Thessaly, far from any garrison or ally, was about to become another test case, another footnote in an empire's expansion. But these women did not know they were footnotes. They weren't warriors. They were women who had spent their lives in silence and prayer. Their weapons were rosaries. Their armor was faith. Sister Ilani had been abbess for 12 years. Before that, she tended the sick in a village swallowed by plague. Sister Magdalena was 19. She joined the convent after her family was killed in a raid. Sister Theodoros was 70, having outlived emperors, wars, and abbesses alike. None had ever faced this. At dawn, the first cannonball hits the bell tower. Stone explodes, iron shrieks, and the bell that rang for 140 years shatters. The sisters cover their ears. Sister Ilani does not scream. She stands, crucifix raised, and begins to sing. One by one, the others join her, 23 voices rising against the roar of an empire. But empires do not listen to songs. By midday, the gates are breached. Ottoman soldiers pour in, not with swords drawn, but with ledgers, quills, and ink. They move through the convent like clerks, counting, recording, cataloging. To them, these women are not people, they are assets. This is the moment their world ended and their legend began. But legends need an audience. If you're bearing witness with us, become a part of our mission. Subscribe now. A translator steps forward and reads the Sultan's decree. All subjects of the conquered territories must submit. Those who convert will be protected. Those who refuse will face consequences. Sister Alani steps forward, calm, serene. She speaks in Greek. Tell your Sultan, we have already given our lives to a king. We have nothing left to surrender. The officer in charge, Hassan Pasha, smiles. He knows something the nuns do not. The Ottomans have perfected the art of breaking people without killing them. That night, the women are locked inside the chapel. No food, no water, only darkness and the laughter of soldiers outside. Two sisters weep, but Sister Magdalena whispers psalms, slowly silencing them. What soldiers see as torture, the nuns see as discipline. Hassan Pasha is patient. He has seen this before. Faith is like a candle, he once wrote. It burns brightest just before it dies. He is about to test that theory. On the second day, a servant leaves bread and water. The nuns do not touch it. By the third day, their lips crack, their hands shake, but they do not break. Hassan Pasha opens the doors himself. He offers mercy, protection, new lives. All they must do is speak the words. Sister Alani looks at her sisters. Some are barely conscious. Some are praying. She turns to Hassan. We will walk. And so they do. For 7 days, 23 women march south towards the coast. By the end, only 18 remain. Sisters collapse. Others lift them, carry them for miles. They walk in silence, not the silence of defeat, but of choice. Their silent march was an incredible act of courage. By subscribing, you join a community dedicated to honoring that courage and bringing other lost acts of bravery back into the light. Sister Alani led them at the front, hands bound, until Hassan Pasha calls her alone. What happens next is not in Ottoman records, but in a Venetian letter. She is returned, paraded as a convert, yet her lips move silently in Latin. They have taken her body, but left her soul. At the port, they are loaded onto a galley, chained, listed in the ship's manifest as religious captives, female, for domestic service and conversion. 12 days at sea, storms lashing the deck, the young whispering psalms. When they finally reach Constantinople, the skyline rises before them, domes, minarets, walls that gleam like a blade. Led through the city past a Hagia Sophia, now a mosque, they kneel as the call to prayer echoes. They are home, but it is no longer theirs. Beneath Topkapi Palace, a hidden chapel waits. In 2011, archaeologists discovered it, with crosses carved in stone, small, crude, etched in memory. Beside them, 4 Latin words, Lux in tenebris lucet. The light shines in the darkness. Sister Magdalena, who carried psalms across the sea, left her mark, a small bird, 23 lines for each sister, proof that faith could survive where chains and walls could not. The Ottoman Empire lasted until 1922, but it could not erase the scratches on that wall. This story is not about religion, not even about the Ottomans. It is about power, memory, and defiance. Empires can rewrite history, erase names, bury bodies, but they cannot kill what people carry inside them. They cannot silence what is carved in stone. The nuns of St. Catherine were meant to disappear, but they did not. Their crosses remain, their prayers endure, and the light shines in the darkness. They fought to be remembered. Now it's our turn. Honor their legacy. Subscribe to Echoes of the Past. Hit the notification bell and become a keeper of the stories the world tried to erase.